Good morning here. Welcome to ProMedia Live at 9. We're talking grain and livestock markets every morning, most mornings. Yesterday was our first morning we skipped a show, but personal things happen. And I don't know. We're back here today, though, and we got a little better board out of the gate. We'll cruise through some headlines and give you an update of what's going on, talk about your markets. Invite you to post your comments and questions down below. Let us know you're here. Tell me you're here and what's on your mind. I wonder, my question to you out of the gate, I'm just going to ask it now, is what's the corn acreage number going to be next week? What do you think, where it's at? Post it in the comments below. Let us know what you think. Very curious, who are the winners? Who's the losers on that report next week here? So let's go to your markets and we'll give you the update and then run through your headlines here. May corn's up 2 cents, 4.59 3/4. Dees corn is down 1/4 cent at 4.48 3/4, below that 4.50 number. May beans up a nickel at 10.06 1/2. New crop November beans are 4 cents firmer at 10.10 1/2. Oil's up 45 points at 43.30. Meal is down 10.1 at 302.80. Looking over at your wheat markets, Chicago wheat is a 1/2 cent weaker, 5.42 3/4. KC wheat is a 1 3/4 firmer on the May contract, 5.71. On new crop July, 5.86. Looking over at your meat markets, the feeder cattle complex feeders are 0.475 at 285 325. Looking out at live cattle, 325 firmer at 206.70 on your April, and a little weaker in the back. October and December are down 17.5 to 20 points. There, 198.425 on October live cattle. Lean hogs are mixed, pretty even in the April, unchanged. May's down 7.5 cents. April is your June's up 7.5. And then looking over your energy markets, we got crude up 89 points, 69.89. Diesel's up a penny. Nat gas is up a nickel at 389. Your equity markets, we got the Dow 165 firmer at 43,000. The S&P's 12 cents weaker, 5,813. The NASDAQ 141 points lower at 20,030.46. The Russell's up. Bitcoin's down 1,000 points, 87,175. Gold's down a tick. Silver's up a tick. And the U.S. dollar is a little firmer, up to 0.234 at 104.07 on the U.S. dollar index. So, all right, let's dive into some of your headlines here. Welcome back. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. We love the engagement in the comments here. So we'll dive into some of those comments there. Again, how many acres will U.S. farmers plant of corn? Who are the big winners and losers that we're going to see next week? Very curious. Your thoughts, leave them, post them down below there. Let us know what you think. So one of the big headlines yesterday was the Russia-Ukraine ceasefire deal, making some headway there. But the devil's in the details there. And part of that detail there looks like part of the deal is to restore global market access for Russian ag and fertilizer exports. So more Russia grain, more Black Sea grain hit the market. If they have it, though, there's some weather concerns with Black Sea and Ukraine wheat production. So we can talk about having more access to export markets. But if we don't have the crop, we have less available supply. Does it really matter? So I don't know. Good to see peace there. Big headline market mover. Wait on your wheat market yesterday and the whole week, really. Wheat's been kind of a dog rolling over. But good to see that. And we'll see long-term implications there. It's a headline and the trade's going to trade it. But we got weather stuff going on. It's also pretty important for wheat going forward here. We're entering prime time for both U.S. wheat production and Black Sea wheat production going forward, and even in Europe too as well. So got a big report, and we had some estimates come out last week or yesterday. My goodness. Yesterday estimates came out. Here's a tweet from Karen Braun kind of analyzing those. Trade average 94.4 on corn acreage. The Feb outlook number was 94. And USDA at 90.6. So big increase on the corn deal, but that range, there's some guy out there, 96.6 million acres of corn. Think we'll print that? Maybe do we print a 97? I would be very, very surprised if we printed a 96, 97 million acres of corn figure, but somebody out there and threw that out there in the trade range. So big range there, a little weaker on soy. 83.8 million acres of beans with the 82.5 to 85.5 range. This is down versus 87.1 million acres last year. Not on this graphic, but cotton pegged at 9.9 million acres versus 11.2 last year. One of the biggest losers in the corn acreage battle might be cotton. The average guess there is 1.3 million acres lower, and some are calling for as much as a 2 to 2.4 million acre drop in cotton acres. So yeah, big report. But will we have a bearish acreage report on the corn side of things and a bullish stocks number? That's something to consider here. The grain stocks, we've had strong export pace, but the caveat there is the feed and residual usage. And we look at the feed and residual usage in the last quarterly report was down 6.6% year-on-year decrease in feed residual usage during the Sep to November timeframe. And that's notable because the USDA, I think, is calling for only a 0.5% reduction in the feed residual category versus a year ago. So question on that grain stocks report next week is going to be, is the USDA going to confirm lower than expected feeding again and print an above, anticipated stocks number on the corn side of things, or did feed and residual usage actually tick up, and are we going to see that more come in line with the USDA forecast? So that stock, we talk a lot about plantings number, and that plantings number is a survey. Remember, the grain stocks report is a real number. So are we going to trade the survey number, or are we going to trade the real number, and which one matters more? But two big reports have the ability to move the market. I'm going to throw up, here's a graphic from ATI, just talks about the changes that we can see report day in your corn market on the left and your bean market on the right. And we see some big moves historically. It looks like in 13, we saw a 40-cent sell-off on old crop corn, 30-cent sell-off on new crop corn. But the year priors in 11 and 12, we saw 20 to 30-cent moves, 40-cent move in 12 on old crop corn to the higher side. So don't underestimate the ability for this report to move your market next week. And then we got the tariff talk right behind it. April 2nd's the Liberation Day, and we'll have a tariff be implemented that a couple days later. So potential for some big moves next week. Make sure you're buttoning things up and don't let that report hurt you, I guess, is my bottom line. So if you're selling it all because it's going to be a bearish report and you're going to print 96 million acres of corn and that's going to send the market limit lower, that's your thought. Make sure you're covering that sale with some call options and staying in the game with some upside. Don't paint yourself into a marketing corner by making a black or white decision going into a report and having something get printed that surprises you and moves that market in a direction you didn't anticipate would happen. That's what makes you have a bad day, is black and white marketing decisions. So defend your decisions going into report day, and also have a longer term picture on what you're doing from an overall marketing side of things. So where do I go from here? Getting some comments in there. Keep loading those comments up. I want to know where you're at with corn acres and what you think. Just tell me what's on your mind out there. We'll roll through those here as we get to the end. But yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna have Brian Basting on for Premium tomorrow. We got that scheduled and booked, and we're gonna break down some details from ATI research. I think when we dive into some of these corn numbers, looking at grain stocks and what to expect next week's report, looking at just where we're at today and get into ATI research's minds. Brian Basting is going to be a great guy to have on for Premium tomorrow. Look forward to that. Premium, earlier in the week, we talked about specific target orders that we need to have in place and working. We texted this out last week and, we did a video diving into the details of it here, sent that out Monday to Premium subscribers. We're running a special this week too. So if you sign up for Premium this week and you text us, we're going to offer you a free 30 days of, free 30-day trial of Premium. So text us at 309-402-0039 and go sign up for ATI ProMedia Premium content at atipromedia.com. You can subscribe, send us a text, your name, your location, and we'll get you that free 30 days where you don't get billed and get you some content out at a great time of year to sign up for something new and try something different. So we send out a morning wire email. We're going to send, specific actionable text alerts out, and you get videos throughout the week that break down what's happening in your market and walk through what you can do. And if you have something specific you want us to talk about or dive into, shoot us a message and let us know, and we will deliver what you want there. So, all right, cattle market was pretty firm on the choice cutout yesterday. Sharply higher choice box beef yesterday. The market itself has been selling off, but choice cutout sharply higher. Choices up $8 yesterday, 335.19. It's the largest one-day increase since August of 23, and I believe the highest cutout print since June of 23. The rib seems to be leading the way here on the cutout. It's good to see that move higher, but there's lots of questions about a consumer pushback as prices creep up. So the cutout's climbing higher. The retail beef case is going to also be climbing higher, and how much can the consumer handle of that? That's some of the big questions out there, but it's bullish until it's not. And the consumer is very hungry for U.S. beef, high quality beef. Don't underestimate where this market can go, how high it can go. Don't want to, felt like there was going to be a 3 in front of feeders here a couple of days ago, and we've rolled off significantly since that. Maybe we'll bounce back and get that bullish sentiment going again with that higher choice cutout. The market's kind of bouncing back today, and it's good to see. Well, feeders rolled back over, so I lied. Earlier, when we quoted them up out of the gate, they were firmer, and now they're giving back 20 points. So your markets are moving. But we've had 18 consecutive days of week-on-week increases in your choice cutout. That's a significant thing to pay attention to. So, all right. Going forward, we'll dive into some comments here, and then, but markets going forward, weather in South America going to be hot on the radar. We've got some normal to near normal precip for safrinha corn over the next 14 days. Also watching the trade, the tariff, and the truce, the geopolitics. That's also on the docket here. And then we've got the lingering Monday reports. So these markets, they feel like they're chopping within a 15-cent range. We'll see where they go from here. But yeah, let's dive into some comments here and see what we got out there. Grow the farm up, 93.5 million acres corn. It's going to be bad if it's over that. Okay, 94 million acres was the Feb outlook on corn. They print 93.5. That would spark some excitement, I think, in this corn market if they printed below the Feb outlook number. So good comment. I hope they see that. That'd be good for your markets. They estimate 95 million acres. Buy some puts and pray. Oh, you might need to buy your puts before the print if you're worried about that 95 million acre corn print. I think by the time you react to that 95 million acre number, if they were to print something like that, the market might have already priced in some volatility and high price for those puts, or you're going to be buying a strike that's lower than we're at today, I would anticipate. So, Luke, at this point, I'd be surprised to see cotton acres above 9. Okay. Yep. 11 point, what was it last year? 11.2 million acres of cotton. The average is 9.9. The low end of the guess is 8.8 million acres of cotton. So, yeah, but reminder that, this is a survey. It's going to get, they're going to print a number, and that number is going to change significantly between now and those final acreage. We have the June, they tidy things up again in June, and then we adjust the balance sheets accordingly. And then we get that final acreage number in January. So this number is going to move. It's the first look, and it'll move the market, but make the market go up, buy some puts. There we go. Sometimes, yeah, you need to go get those puts on so that you can make the market go up. It's a good bullish position to be long the cash still. Spring wheat could be the next big story if it stays dry in the Dakotas and in eastern Montana. Robert, appreciate the comment. Yeah, I've been talking about that, texting a little bit about that back and forth. So hard to go dust it in. And we talked about that. Plant it in the dust and the bins will bust, Robert. That's the old saying. We'll see if it actually happens, but we need some rainfall up there. Hopefully, it looks like the forecast may be a little friendly for you coming up. We got some time to get that spring wheat crop in the ground, but yeah, definitely pay attention to that story. Wheat has been volatile. Spring wheat is looking tough. Can believe that. Parts of the country, okay. You have to remind me where you're at growing the farm up. Or type in there and tell me where you're at. in Kansas, we've got really good looking stand of wheat. It's dry on top, but we got some subsoil underneath it, and we're set up if we get some. We can live on that subsoil. It ain't going to be a great deal, but the further east you move, I think the better you are, as always out here in Kansas. But yeah, Tony, buy some puts when you can, not when you have to. Love that saying. Definitely, the put's your backup plan, right? It's not. We want to go sell higher cash and then peel out of that put down the road. The put's there for in case you're wrong. It allows you to embrace a bull market and stay long on the cash side, stay long that market, have that put underneath you until, in case you are wrong, for that unexpected sell-off, and defend your bottom line in that case. Drought monitor map handy. We got updated drought monitor tomorrow. Grow the farm up. We'll highlight that. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. We'll have that updated drought monitor map. See if it's still in there from last week, though. We did a little house cleaning and we ripped out. We took all the assets out of there. So we got rid of last week's drought monitor and don't have that picture loaded up. But I will make sure that that's in Grow the Farm Up for tomorrow. We'll talk about that. We'll get that out 7:30, updated drought monitor, and see what changes are there on the U.S. front. Keep an eye on South America weather going forward. I think that's a wrap on the comments. Certainly appreciate you guys jumping in and joining us today. These markets, they're moving. I'm going to quote you up before we roll out of here. Again, after the show, if you're watching the rewatch, still want to know where you think corn acres, bean acres, cotton acres are going to fall. Leave us a comment. Post us what you think the numbers will be next week. And also, if you missed earlier, the grain stocks report, that may be one of the biggest movers and shakers next week too. So don't forget about that report as well. All right, May corn up 2 1/4. Hadn't moved much. 460 there. New crop East corn down 3/4%. 448 1/4. Monitor. Make sure my machine's not frozen because these markets, boys, they ain't moving. I got to make sure my internet's up to snuff here, but it looks like it's good to go. The market's just not moving. Beans are up 6, 10.07 3/4. Wheat, Chicago down a penny and a quarter. KC up a penny and a quarter. Feeders are dancing around, relatively unchanged, down 22 points in the March, down 15 points on your April. Kind of a stagnant market there. Your fat similar, down 60 points in the August, down to 45 in the June. Hogs are bouncing back. You're up 45 points in your May hogs. April hogs up 22.5. Crude oil is up 95 points, almost $1 higher on your crude. Diesel's up a penny and 3/4. Nat gas up a nickel. Your Dow's up 200. S&P down 16. NASDAQ down 183. Russell down 320. So, yeah, dollar's moving as well. 104.03 on your dollar index. Watch that dollar. That can impact your markets as well. So, all right. With that, I'm going to peel out of here, get out of here. Thank you for joining us. Join us every day. We'll be back tomorrow, again, live at 9. We'll have that drought monitor for you, Grow the Farm Up. Thank you for all the comments and the engagement. I'm going to click the button and get out of here. Y'all have a wonderful day.